Hey guys, it's your boy Jason Vice4 here, and you like rants? Cause boy, I got a good one for you, and it's hella negative. But when it comes down to it, in all seriousness though, yeah, this is definitely a rant. But before I begin with that, I don't also know what the hell happened in the last video that I did. Also, it's been some time since I uploaded, and that's kind of, part of this. But still, nonetheless, I don't know what the hell happened last video because it goes for like 2 minutes and then it goes black screen. I don't know what happened there because it should have been like the Stellar Blade videos been going on, and that's what it should have been for the whole video. But I don't know what the hell happened to that. Granted, it's more of a video that you just listen to than really watch, and same thing for this damn video, honestly, unless you just want to see, I don't know, what's just going on with just whatever I put into the background. But still, when it comes down to it though, I don't know what the hell happened there. But anyway, yep, it's another rant. I ain't gonna necessarily hold you. I don't necessarily like doing rants anymore, or at least I want to avoid doing rants. But when shit just hits the fan, and then things are just more convoluted than it really needs to be, it gets to a point where it's just absolutely hella annoying, and just speaking to it by one person isn't really enough. And I just want to honestly just put it out in the open and just call it a day when it comes to it, right? So that's just kind of what this is essentially. So just in general, it's just life stuff. It's not really anything YouTube related stuff. Well, it's kind of YouTube related because really, if you've seen the last community post I put up with the play button that I had put up, and it'll be like, I want to get this shit. This is the thing I'm aiming for. I'm not gonna hold you. That dream of that couldn't come any further or any longer than it needs to, because bitch, I wish I had that damn milestone. So what essentially I'm just trying to get at is just things that's already been like, well, you already know. Things for me hasn't really been that great, essentially. We have this whole mortgage thing that's been on our asses and been on our cases for years now, honestly. It really, ever since, I would say, probably, really when I got into it and knowing what the hell was going on about elementary school. So, it's been on our asses for a while, but it just got weirder and harder to, fight off against, recently. And that was like a whole thing last year that we talked about that. There's also the fact that now, we might not necessarily be able to get food now because the stance is wanting to cut us off, which is some nonsense because I'm not in school anymore, which, again, some nonsense. But the thing is that is really shitty about that is mainly the fact that, look, where I live, the jobs don't pay much. And obviously with the inflation, it's really not helping at all. So if I were to just go work a job, and the most paid job that you're gonna find is maybe like $12 an hour, maybe 15 at the most, which that is nowhere near enough to cover everything, honestly, and try to actually move out of this nonsense situation. At the end of it, all that's really gonna do, because if you don't know how food stamps work, you make over a certain amount of money a year, you get cut off from it. And it's like, alright, well, that really sucks, even though you would definitely still need that, even though you probably would be making, some kind of money. It's still not like enough, obviously. So, working a job is honestly some nonsense when it comes to that front. And then there's also the part of it, if you just don't do it, then, or don't work a job at all, essentially what ends up happening is you get cut off anyway. Right? So there's nonsense coming from that direction too. So at this point, for me and really my mom, it's kind of just like, we're dead here if we do something, and if we're dead over here if we don't do anything. Then, to make slightly more matters worse, I don't know how to word this without giving too much information, but essentially my father decided, well, it wasn't really on, I guess it kind of is on him, but at the very same time, it was not that serious of a situation. And I know my dad enough for him to not be getting himself in trouble, but he ended up getting himself in trouble a little bit, which the police still did some nonsense because they didn't even did the proper procedures of stuff. But they kind of try to attack him for like driving under the influence, even though it wasn't like, he wasn't like my father ain't a heavy drinker, right? He's not, but they try to get him for something slightly over the limit, just or under the limit or whatever, slightly. Like it's not that big. And the thing is, he has. Well, the thing is with him is that every month we get like some type of money so we can get the mortgage like at least paid off in some shape or form for that month going in, and that's what kind of been keeping us alive for years upon years, honestly. So what ends up happening is if something happens to him, all that money gets cut off essentially, and then we're really gonna be in it, and there really ain't gonna be no recovering from that shit at all. Like that's essentially what it is. It's kind of hard to explain, but like imagine you have somebody that will give you like a nice little piece of paper of some money here, here, and here, every month or so, right? And essentially, if something were to happen to them, then you get cut off from that, and then you're basically kind of messed up because that's kind of a lot of the money that you depend on to keep your house and all that type of stuff. That's essentially the position that we are in, essentially. And the reason why basically I say that, the officers didn't do their job at all is obviously because the part of the place where he got, detained at was a racist part of the South where I live. So it's not necessarily great because you know how to go do with black people. So it is what it is on that. Much less, they didn't even do all the breathalyzer stuff correctly at least from his account. So it's not, and honestly, it's not that hard to believe down here. But when it comes down to it, it's just like, yeah, if something happens with him, we're screwed. If something happens with the mortgage, we're screwed again. And then the food stamps is gonna be in 3 months' time gonna be screwed even worse. So across the board, I am in a circle of shit, and I cannot leave. Essentially. I know this might sound like a circle of nonsense that I just cannot leave and sound like I'm making it up. It's not. It's not. I would not have a reason to be lying right now. It is not. It's not. It's just not. And with all this just being around me at this current moment in time, it just leading it for me to make it hard to actually try to focus the best I can on making content and focusing hard on doing other things that I would like to do. And it's just hella difficult, especially really on the money side of things. That's really what it comes down to, and I'm so tired of the concept of money. I want to burn all money in the world, honestly. That's kind of how I feel, but that's just not going to be possible. But when it comes down to it though, that's literally the whole piece of shit issue that we have, honestly. And it doesn't really help either. It doesn't even help when it doesn't even help, especially when we don't even have like a stable income of it. And what's worse is that all these jobs that's like down here are like, I guess like infrastructure job or construction jobs too. And that doesn't help me because I can't live for shit. I am not the weakest person in the world, but I definitely, can't lift like 10 tons of cement or some shit like that either, right? And plus, I've done all that shit with my father when I was a child. I don't want to work in that type of field, honestly. So it's not the greatest place to be at right now. So being trapped in this position and just utterly in, the worst possible scenario, is it too surprising that I try to go ahead and, make content and try to start a YouTube channel and do all this type of stuff and all this sort of things that's happening for the past 4 years that I wanted to avoid end up happening? Like, do you understand? I'm pretty sure you understand the position of part of the reason why I wanted to do this channel. It's not solely for the money, obviously, but it's just for the fact to, raise an opportunity to get out of this position in some shape or form. That's not the main reason why this channel exists, obviously. It's really not. If it was, I wouldn't even be going as hard as I try to be consistent when I can be. Risk my channel to talk about lollies and, other people harassing the shit out of other people and, all this other stuff. I wouldn't go as far as to risk all that if it wasn't for the fact I didn't like what I'm doing. Because I do like what I'm doing. It's just the fact that there ain't no money coming in from it. And I ain't talking about the people that actually does, send something my way because, you are extremely, kind and 100% appreciate it. But unfortunately, it's just not necessarily enough. to be honest. Money is never going to be enough of it because you're always going to have money for something. But when it comes down to it, though, it's just the fact that relying on, a not so consistent basis of it is been some torture, honestly. And then, as far as you might be thinking, well, why don't you have the monetization from YouTube? I haven't even hit the $100 threshold yet. I haven't even received my first check from this dang company. When it comes down to it, if that was the case of making some type of profit, if I was getting something, I'm not. You have to at least get $100 before you even actually get paid out in some shape or form. And then granted, we don't necessarily know how that would happen because I haven't hit it yet. I'm at $77. That's it. And let's be honest, a whole 100 is not going to necessarily cover all the other stuff that I have to use for, bills and other responsibilities of the sort. Unless my channel decided to stop bitching around for the day and actually start bringing in over thousands of people, then maybe something will be different here. But other than that, no, that's just not how this works, honestly. But the whole thing is, though, you understand, or at least I hope you like to understand, the problem of what we've been going through for a long ass time. It just seems like every single corner, every single circle that we're just in, it's just a bigger and bigger annoyance and a bigger and bigger frustration just waiting to come through, honestly. It's like, how do we get... It's like, my position, it could be much worse. I've read a lot of y'all's comments and, seen the lifestyles that y'all have at times, especially with some people that I know, and definitely you guys have a lot worse than I do. But at the very same time, I'm about to be in your position because literally it's one problem stacked upon another problem, stacked upon a whole another problem, and it's just not necessarily an easy fix or a way to get out of it, which is again why, content creation, outside of like the things I want to do and the things I'm happy to do, it's like at a point where I needed to absolutely just do some miracle work, honestly. Then I would also like to stop being talked shit about by people I know about my channel not necessarily bringing in anything or not necessarily worth being anything, because that's insanely frustrating to just be told that, you did this for 4 years and you still have nothing to show for it. And it's honestly just atrocious, honestly. Again, it's not on y'all when it comes down to it. I don't hate or mind y'all at all because y'all are awesome, but it's just, I guess it's mainly for me, honestly. And I guess that's what this is. Just, I don't know. I just don't know what else I can potentially do. All I know is for my skill set of what I can do, at least in some shape or form, is that I'm trying to get back to drawing and I'm trying to figure that out again. Much less I can write stories, so maybe there's something out there for that. But where do I reach out to? Who do I reach out to? How do I get these type of opportunities and chances? I don't know. Even sponsorships are hard to get because, one, you don't know who to talk to, and then two, with YouTube having like, fame bits or whatever it's called, essentially, where you can get sponsorships, they will only give you those sponsorships when it's an option for you in the studio, which is a hella big annoyance because I would just like to get one sponsorship and then call it a day so we can at least get something rolling here so I don't have to complain and make rant videos like this one. At the end of the day, I just want to focus on making better content and making this whole channel a better product for you. Because at the end of the day, I already know you don't want to listen to me rant about my life problems and stuff. You don't want to necessarily listen to that when you probably had a shitty day your damn self. That's not the goal of this channel, nor should it ever be the goal of this channel. Money should never be the main focus of the channel. But hell, right now it just feels like that's what everything is trying to push itself towards. And if I can make money on the side of all this, hey, I'm down for it. But at the very same time, that's not the main focus of why we do stuff here. The whole reason of why I even started making content was because I liked that fact that people just did what they wanted to do, had fun, make cool shit, and had the opportunities to do cool shit alongside with the money as well, right? And I'm like, why not I give myself a go? And then look at what we built over for the last 4 years. 2,000 people come through, and it's a nice ass time. But at the very same time, I wish I was a lot further down the line, honestly, right? I really wish. A lot of people back then used to say that my channel has potential to grow into do something, but I would like to see that potential now. That potential has been there for years. I just want to see it actually be utilized in some shape and form where I can actually show my work off to people and be like, yeah, this is what I do, this is how things is, and you can't tell me or take this away from me at all when it comes down to it. Really, this whole 4.5 years of just fighting for this channel, it's really been a fight. It's been a fight to try to prove to not only that I belong here and I can do this, but also to the fact that I'm worth a damn, and I would like to have more people to think I'm worth a damn when it comes to it. And I was also looking up, the percentage of people that can make it, and essentially, if you have over 1,000 subs, you're already in that rare percentage of people that actually does get it. Like, it's like 8.8% from what I remember of what I've read, which is impressive, honestly. I've already done something, or is worthy to do something, that a lot of other people cannot necessarily do. So when it comes to it, I would like to further myself in that rare ass ranking. The reason why it's so hard to become a content creator and be successful at it is mainly because no one is giving you the answers or give you any type of hints, because there's only so few people that actually do get up to those levels of being known like that and all that sort of stuff. At the very same time, bitch, does that mean that, you can't necessarily get it yourself, or I can't necessarily receive it? Oh, bitch, definitely. And when I do actually get up there, if the day comes, I will definitely be more than happy to tell you exactly, or maybe what has happened to get to that point. But that's kind of is the whole point right now. How do we get to that point? I have zero idea. But when it comes down to it as well, I don't necessarily know if this is the channel that has a lot of work put into it. I don't know if it's like if I haven't worked hard enough to earn it. I don't know if it's the fact that, people just choose to ignore me when it comes down to it or whatever. I don't know what the hell is actually going on when it comes to the channel. The only thing I know is that something definitely needs to shift within these next 3 months or very effing soon, because what this is right now, what's going on when it comes down to it, is not it, right? It's definitely not it. So when it comes to it, I don't know what I have to do. I don't know. But something has to give, because if this just keeps going at this point and at this rate, this is just going to turn into more of a hobby channel than it actually going to be an actual career or anything like that. Because at this point, I don't know what the hell I can do to actually increase the viewers or get more people into, watching this channel and things of the sort. Because again, there is plenty of ideas I still have not put on the table that I would love to, but one, would cost money, and then two, at the same time, I really just want to wait and then just use that for something to get that, bigger audience to see what we're really all about here, essentially. There's plenty of things I haven't yet been able to do, and really when it comes to storytelling, I'm trying to put my best effort in that as well with Kokatsu, which is why I heavily try to promote it as well, right? I would also like to have a dang clothing line for 10 seconds that's not just selling you, the most expensive shit ever. Like, I'll keep it a stack with you. The spring store, the t-shirts and the merch and stuff, it's hella expensive. Why is it expensive? That's because I don't make any type of profit if I don't sell it high in that store, which is insanely annoying. There's no way someone should be paying $70 for some sweatpants. I'll keep it a stack with you. I'll even roast my own damn, merch when it comes to that fast, right? There ain't no damn way somebody should be paying $70 for some damn sweatpants. So I just say, I'm just gonna make it like a simple set that's actually newly just made I put out on the store, but still, nonetheless, no reason for that shit. But yeah, man, I don't know what exactly it's gonna take for, this channel to go somewhere, or for me to go somewhere, because at this point, hell, I've been so hyper focused on, when it comes to just taking care of responsibilities, I'm so hyper focused on, just trying to get everything right for this house, everything right for my mom and all that type of stuff. But at this current moment in time, I'm at a point where I can't necessarily keep thinking about it like that. I have to start trying to focus and worry about my damn self, which is something I should have been done a long time ago, or at least had the mindset to do. But at the very same time, now it's just like, okay, how? And that's the biggest thing. You guys are probably the biggest lifeline I got. No, screw that. You are the biggest lifeline I got, because if you guys don't share the channel around or get my name out there, make memes of me, doesn't necessarily matter. It just not gonna be an easy way to get out of this situation. It's not, honestly. I'll be more than happy to give back to the community and do all this type of stuff that I've been planning to do for years, just haven't happened because obviously I'm broke as shit, boy. Yeah, that you can't do anything if you're just broke as shit, you know? So when it comes to it, it's just not easy. And then I would just like to be the first person, because there's a few people that tries to be content creators in, you know, my family, and I ain't trying to rag on them or anything like that, because, you know, do what they gotta do. But I would like to be the first person in my family to do something substantially big, to actually shift some things out the damn way, and actually, for once, you know, set our family free from all this lack of financial things and, you know, lack of stuff that we need. Hell, my mom, so when it comes down to it, my mom is so focused on the future of preservation when it comes to things like, you know, putting food back and stuff like that. And we can't even focus on getting the shit for tomorrow. We can't even focus on what we want to eat for tomorrow, essentially. And that's just how it is. And that's what it's been for like a few months now. And it's been so aggravating as shit as a whole when it comes to it. So for me right now, it's just like, what do you expect me to do? I can't put shit for the future because I don't even know if we're gonna even have a damn future. So when it comes to it, and all the stuff I've said so far, I'm gonna wrap it here because it's getting too damn long. But the point is that this channel by far is my biggest experiment. It's by far my biggest life experiment that I put 4.5 years into, 4.5 years of my life into. And I don't want this shit to basically be just another failed experiment for the guy that's behind Jason by Explorer. I don't want that shit to be the case, because there's been plenty of things I've tried back in the day with other things that maybe not having to do with, you know, trying to get out there and stuff like that. But there's been things I've done back in the day where none of that shit worked. None of that shit was good and it succeeded. And now it's just like, this feels like another failed experiment, and I don't want this to be the failed experiment of everything. And again, to not rag on anything or anyone like that, but I don't want to work a regular ass job. I want to work on something that, you know, I actually give a shit about, or I can do something with that I don't mind. I don't want to necessarily be in the same common places a lot of other people, not because I'm better than anybody, but because I have ideas I feel like that could be out there too, right? Even like, I believe my uncle even also has like art and stuff that they would like to have gotten out, and I don't want it like make it to a children's book, and I don't want to have my ideas be put in that same position of never getting out there and never putting out the moves of it. Like, I can write, I can draw, kinda, I can make stories and such, so I'm not completely useless. It's just, where is my talents gonna go, and where should they go, and how do I get to those places? I don't effing know. I don't have a damn degree, so I don't necessarily know. But you don't necessarily need to be bound by a piece of paper as well to get what you want, because there's been plenty of other people that don't have degrees that is hella successful. And the biggest thing, and to be perfectly honest, this is the thing I never told anybody about this, but I don't want to just live all this time in this world, honestly, and then just die never being remembered by anybody. That's like the biggest thing for me, because I want to, at least if I die today or tomorrow or whatever, I would like to be remembered as somebody that stood something for a lot of people. He may not have been a perfect person, but he at least was some damn body, honestly. You know, when it comes down to it, right? Even when it comes down to the worst of things, if that ever happened, I hope they don't happen. But when it comes to it, I would like to at least be worth something to somebody in some shape or form to inspire somebody else to do better for themselves and all that other stuff. Because at the current moment in time, if I were to pass today, you know what's going to be said? The same common thing that everybody else would say. You know, just some random guy that ended up passing away, just like everybody else. So that's, if anything, one of the biggest fears that I do have is the fact that I won't be remembered by shit, and basically my life was basically worth not a damn thing. So if anything, one of my biggest fears, that's the biggest one. And I don't want this channel to just be worth nothing. I want this channel to actually mean something. So that's what I basically meant when it comes down to also making this channel to be a better product, because you deserve a better product, especially with all the drama and stuff that has happened with a lot of other content creators. I know you don't want to watch that all the time, I know, but help me get there so we don't have to talk about that shit really a lot of the damn time. So we'll see how that goes, but only if you are able to help me to get to that point and spread that name around so we can actually do something. But that's essentially what I have for you for this one. Long ass video, I know, but at the very same time equally important, because it's just a lot that has been going on and it's been hella annoying. I don't want to sit my ass down and work at some office job or behind a Dollar General or whatever the hell is else out there. Not trying to knock on you if you do those jobs or whatever, but I want to do something that means something. Have something that actually you can enjoy as well and reach higher heights than no one in my family has really ever reached, honestly. So especially in the area again I live, that would also be something that would be, you know, phenomenal when it comes down to it, on some AJ Styles nonsense. So that's essentially what this is. But hopefully you did enjoy. If you did, be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification on else. Also follow me on socials, and if you'd like to donate to the channel, Kofi and Cash App is available as well. I'm not even gonna bother promoting throwing gifts at this point, because honestly, the money of what we can actually use to survive is a lot more important than anything on that website at the moment. Even though, you know, there's things I need, but still, it is what it is. But yeah, that's essentially all I have for you for this one. Until then, it's YJ signing off. Have a blessed day.